Hold on.
Won't you try?
Can we wait?
Hmm?
Yeah, hang on one second. Don't take it personal.
Sure. We have so many elected officials here who are saddened and want to show their support for the people of Haiti. We're going to figure out how we can get all of them to join me in Mayor Suarez in this vicinity. Suarez. And we have so many. So if you are an elected official, I'm going to call your name and you come and join us in this space that we have. Commissioner Jeff Watson, Councilwoman Timothy, Councilman Alex DeSume, Vice Mayor of Miami Gardens Reggie Leon, Barbara Sharif, Broward Commissioner, Shannon Igadora, Ard Sakard, Marie Estem Urban, Father Reginald, come, you're on the program, so come. Marie Augusta, Marie Woodson, Rose Bellison from the Nursing Association, Attorney Antonio White, United Teachers of Aid, Katia Sanflora, Miami Shores Councilwoman, Daniela Marcus Garfield from Keon Hardeman's office, Major Goss from City of Miami Police, Commissioner Dale Holness, Broward County, Representative James Bush, State Representative Bobby DeBose, State Senator Perry Thurston, School Board Chair of Broward County, Dr. Rosalind Osgood, a representative from U.S. Representative Salazar's office, and a representative from Congressman Jimenez's office. Okay. Nice showing. Thank you so much for coming and joining us here today. I'm still in shock. And this is such a solemn occasion for all of us. My thoughts and my prayers are with the people of Haiti. This is such a sad time in the history of our beloved Haiti. Who would have predicted such a heinous act? Yes, there's violence, kidnapping, food insecurity, and there's corruption. But the murder of a president is beyond belief. Like all of you, I was shocked and saddened by the news. But before I deliver my remarks, Father Reginald Jean Mary, pastor of Notre Dame, the Haiti Catholic Mission, will start us off with a prayer. Our dear friend, Father Reginald.
Just before we begin, may I kindly ask you to please bow your heads as we observe a moment of silence in memory of our President, Jovenel Moïse. Most gracious and loving God, we come before you this afternoon in a moment that is very difficult. where our hearts are broken. As our congresswoman told us, we are very broken and in shock with that news, with that reality that we are facing today. But there is no greater moment than to call upon you, because you are the only one who can heal us with that wounds in our hearts, in our mind, and in our soul. Today we have come in solidarity with the nations of Haiti, with my fellow brothers and sisters, to call upon you, to seek guidance, and to ask that you fill us with the presence of the Holy Spirit, the spirit of discernment, so that we can discern your light in the midst of that darkness. We have come before you to ask you to renew your hope in us, so that we can continue to hope against all hope. We have come before you this afternoon so that you can touch us with the healing power of your hands and restore all of us, most especially the nations of Haiti, into the spirit of peace and grace. But today we ask that you continue to bless us with great leadership. Just as Congresswoman Frederica Wilson has paved the way this afternoon with that press conference, we ask that you bless her. Bless all the other leaders of our community, all the elected officials who continue to journey with us in this difficult moment. May this press conference be a light in the darkness, a way that paved the way towards a new Haiti, where the blood of so many who had been shed before the death of the president and the blood of the president himself can serve as a sense of renewal, so that a new Haiti can be born and your glory can shine not just today, but tomorrow and forever. Amen. Amen.
Thankfully, 4 of the suspected killers have been slain, and 2 have been arrested. So that gives us hope of solving this case. And like all of you, we're praying. We're praying for a swift recovery of First Lady Martine Moïse, who was brought to Jackson Memorial Hospital yesterday for treatment, and the couple's 3 children. We pray for them. Yesterday morning, I was briefed by the State Department and other members of Congress, a bipartisan group of Congress, on the conditions in Haiti. I was joined by Speaker Pelosi, Senator Leahy, Congressman Carlos Jimenez, Congressman Barbara Lee, Maxine Waters, Sheila Jackson Lee, and Congressman Andy Levin. We all insisted that the United States must stand ready to provide support and assistance to the people during this challenging time. There has been an eerie calm in Haiti since the news of the assassination broke. But we fear, and I fear, that it will not last. There are certainly numerous gangs in Haiti who are now orchestrating plans, who want to take over and topple the government. I am concerned that this will quickly develop into an international crisis. So, the Haitian people should be number one. American and the international community must provide that security. We're not saying that the international community or America should take over Haiti, but they should provide security to keep Haiti safe. As we await more information, I hope, and we've reached out to the acting Prime Minister to engage President Biden and Secretary Blinken to help weather this crisis and take the necessary steps to preempt any further violence or breakdown in Haiti's rule of law. President Moïse's assassination could not have come at a worse time. Haiti has been mired in a series of crises, including growing political unrest, poverty, and a threefold increase in kidnappings. And I worry that these bad actors will attempt to take advantage of any ensuing chaos. We are encouraging the Biden administration to appoint a high-level, neutral, independent, and well-resourced special envoy to Haiti as soon as possible, who could help facilitate the deployment of additional diplomatic resources. In May, I co-wrote an op-ed featured in the Miami Herald with Commissioner Jean Monestein calling for this appointment even before what happened yesterday. Such a position could help coordinate the U.S. response to not only the assassination of President Moïse, which will undoubtedly lead to yet unforeseen challenges, but also the myriad of political, economic insecurity. The appointment of such a special envoy would convey a sense of urgency and ensure that Haiti's current crisis receives the necessary attention and high-level U.S. engagement. I will continue to engage the Biden administration on this issue, and I have sent to Secretary of State Anthony Blinken a letter asking him, urging him to take this important step. We also need to spend more time seriously considering policies in Haiti that will deeply respect the breadth of Haitian civil society and facilitate a transition to true democracy. I will continue to closely monitor the situation and share any available information with my constituents. Now we will hear from some of our local elected officials and Haitian community leaders. Mayor Francis Suarez, diligent mayor, who is a great friend of Haiti and Haitians of the city of Miami. Mayor Suarez.
Thank you, Congresswoman Wilson, for convening us on this very important matter here in the city of Miami in the Little Haiti Cultural Center. I'd like to recognize some other elected officials that joined us a few moments ago. Vice Chairman Ken Russell, who's here with us from the city of Miami. Of course, we're here in the district of Commissioner Jeff Watson, who's to my right. I think Senator Jason Pizzo, who joined, and James is already recognized. And of course, our Assistant Chief, Gaz, who has done a magnificent job, particularly with the First Lady, since she arrived here in the city of Miami and was transported to Jackson Memorial Hospital along with her children. This is an incident, as the Congresswoman stated, that shocks the very fabric of our consciousness. Here in Miami, in the Haitian diaspora, where we are incredibly connected to Haiti, when you attack an elected official, when you attack the president of a country, you are trying to rip the very soul from the country. This is something that is far greater than an attack on a person. This is an attack on the soul and the dignity of a country and of a city that has so many of its inhabitants. As mayor, I can tell you that we're going to do everything in our power and control to keep the First Lady safe here in the city of Miami and to make sure that we are aiding and assisting in the efforts of the federal government and the Congresswoman and Haiti in any way that we can, as we have done, as she said, historically, in a variety of different circumstances, such as the earthquake in Haiti when we sent our urban search and rescue teams there. This is indescribable, the pain that it evokes in our community, and the shock, frankly, that we felt upon seeing this news. And so I'll just say a few words briefly in Spanish, and then I'll turn it over to the Congresswoman for the other elected officials. Para mí es un momento honorífico estar aquí con todos ustedes, convocados con los oficiales electos por este momento tan trágico. Estoy gente ingresada en el hospital de Jackson Memorial, así que nosotros vamos a hacer todo lo posible para asistir y ayudar al gobierno federal y a la congresista con todos sus esfuerzos en asegurar que puede haber una transición democrática y una transición pacífica en la isla de Haití, pero nosotros estamos fuertemente afectados por esta gran tragedia. Gracias.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. And now, State Representative Marie Woodson and all of the other state.
What his ideologies were, no matter what his principle, his little husband, he was a leader and he was a father. Most of us have children and we know how it feels when a man is gunned down and left his children. He had 3 children. So I'm calling once again, kage sécurité. Nous connaissons que n'a mouri, nous connaissons que le travail là difficile. But nous voulons pour nous connaître que nous gagnons elected officials ni haïtiens, ni américains, ni l'autre qui campent là avec nous et qui make sure que le pays a recommencé sur un point que moun ka aller même avec tout l'autre pays, que ti moun yo ka gagne éducation, que parents yo ka gagne ça yo besoin pour yo ka gagne une vie meilleure. So together, I appreciate the help, I appreciate the support, I appreciate the collaboration in order for Haiti to move forward. We're not going to be discouraged with what happened, and we know with the support of everyone, Haiti would have a better tomorrow. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Thank you so much, Marie. And now we'll hear from North Miami Councilman Alex DeSome. He's the Vice Chair of the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network. Alex?
Yes, thank you, Congresswoman. My name is Alex DeSome from the great city of North Miami, Chairman of the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network, representing the Haitian American elected officials from all across the country. Thank you, Congresswoman, for your leadership and for all that you have done. You are here supporting us, helping us out. This is a sad day. Yesterday was a sad day for many of us across this country, waking up dawn hour, receiving text messages on WhatsApp from all over, learning about the assassination of a sitting president. We never imagined, I never imagined in my lifetime I would, witness something like this. As the Haitian American elected officials, we have been in contact with the State Department, working with Congresswoman Wilson, with other Congress folks. We are standing with the folks of Haiti, with the people of Haiti. We will do what we can. We are pleased, we ask, we keep them in prayers. You keep the country in prayers. You keep the country in prayer as we move forward in this crisis. Thank you so much, Congresswoman.
Thank you. You know, when a country is in peril, we send people, we send police officers, we sent them during the earthquake, and but they have to be requested by the country. So this is why you hear us saying we've reached out to the Prime Minister, who is an acting Prime Minister. So right now, Haiti's in peril because Haiti has no actual governance going on. So this acting Prime Minister has to reach out to the Biden administration and ask for security, ask for the National Guard, ask for the Army, ask for whatever they need from Miami to go there to secure Haiti, because Haiti's police is not good. It's not strong. And our police have been there trying to train them, but it takes a lot. So this is where we are. We are in a country, we have a country just across the water from us that we have to secure right now. And now we're going to hear from our North Miami Councilwoman, Mary Estime Irvin. Where's Mary?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, and I thank you. I echo my colleagues and say thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for always standing up with our community. As we've all heard, and it's gonna sound like an echo, but it's true. I was shocked, I was saddened by the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. And this should not happen in a democracy. I've also extended my condolences to his family, to the First Lady, and I thank God that she is here in the great South Florida, getting the care that she needs. Again, I want to echo with what State Representative Woodson just said. We need security, we need stability, and I urge you, the Biden administration, and I'm sure you're listening, to please support our Congresswoman that is in support of us and our community. As you know, in North Miami, we have the largest diaspora of Haitian Americans living in our city. So we are almost immediately impacted by this. So we're asking you, we're urging you to please, no takeover, but we want security and stability. Bonsoir tout le monde. Et moi c'est Marie Estimée Irvin, moi c'est Councilwoman de Ville de North Miami. C'est très triste que moi là je dis pour que n'a parlé de la mort et un président de pays maman avec papa. So assez moi voulais dire mes condoléances avec famille haïtienne, avec la famille Moïse, et ça qui va extrêmement triste. Mais je dis à nous camper ensemble avec députés et Congresswoman Frederica Wilson pour que nous demandions à l'administration Biden pour que nous capons nous sécurité, pour que nous voulons que gagner sécurité dans le pays. So encore, et n'a prié pour nous en Haïti, n'a pensé de vous et n'a fait tout effort pour nous travailler avec l'administration ça pour que le pays soit stable. I just want to continue to keep the family, the Moïse family in prayer, the country in prayer, and we're going to work as
That's Jane, the director of the Family Action Network movement. Arlene? She's up there. Why aren't you over here?
Good afternoon. Bonsoir tout le monde. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Congressman Frederica Wilson for taking the leadership since this crisis in Haiti yesterday, for getting involved to make sure that the voices of our people in Haiti are heard. I commend her for her leadership. I'd like to thank each and every one of you, all the elected officials standing here, to express their sympathies to the family of President Jovenel Moïse and the First Lady Martin Moïse, who, as we speak, is hospitalized at the trauma center. And also to express their sympathies to the Haitian people who are going through such a tough time right now. I also wish to join my voice to the voices of the global diaspora to express our deepest sympathies to the president and to his family. I must also share with you that the Haitian people have been going through a lot in recent months. Most of them have been either sequestrated in their home or fled their cities. Their entire cities are empty as a result of the violence that has taken place in the island nation. In times of high political instability and crisis, women and girls usually fare worse. And then we have seen what has been happening to our women being kidnapped, raped, and killed. From June 1st to now, 60 people have been killed in the island nation. So we are here to say three things. I'm here to say three things. Number one, we are asking our brothers and sisters in Haiti, though they are grieving, though they are, as we are outraged by what occurred, we are asking them to be calm, remain calm. We know that you have been hurting for the past few months, and we know, just like our board chair indicated, despite the fact that many may have disagreed with our president, but the fact that he was assassinated in his own home highlights the fact that, and it's been proven, that no one is safe on the island of Haiti. Number two, we would like to ask the United States of America to have a more humane policy vis-a-vis Haiti. And then the first thing that we'd like to ask them is to try to stop the flow of arms that have been getting into the country, that has been killing our brothers and sisters, that have been killing our women and children, that have been killing our youth. We know that if they want to, they can do it. Yes. And then we are joining our voices to the congressmen and yours to ask them to do it, and do it now.
Yes. Yes.
Number three. As we talk about the human policy, I don't know if you realize that on Tuesday, the day before the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse, a plane landed in Haiti with refugees who have been detained in complete denial of their basic rights of due process. When we talk about a human policy, we are asking, and then I know Congressman Wilson and all of you elected officials here, you will join me in that endeavor to ask President Biden to immediately stop all deportations to the island. My dear Lord, put a moratorium on all the deportations now, number one, and number two, release all non-criminal refugees. And I'm going to end on that note. Saturday, I took 2 refugees from Chile to Lake Placide, who've been recently released, Congressman Wilson, and I'm going to talk to you about his case. While they were coming from 10 different nations to here, one of them died. The father died. Guess what? A brother who accompanied them is now detained, while after witnessing his brother dying, while his mom, right, the mom, not his mom, the mom and the child were released. So when we're asking about a humane policy, that's what we're asking for. And then we thank you, Congresswoman Wilson. The next few days will be hard and difficult. We are calling for calm. We are telling our brothers and sisters, especially the mother of Antoinette Duclair and the mother of this young journalist who was killed, crippled, shot 7 times. We are telling you, all of you who are mourning, just like the family of President Jovenel Moïse, just like the family of Martine and the children. Those of you who have been mourning, who have been dying, we are asking you to be calm, because there is no way we can really plan a short-term and long-term strategy to put Haiti on the road of development, right? To create a space to trailblaze a space where we can have free, fair, and credible elections. We cannot do that if there is no peace. So we're asking you to be patient, and remain calm. Non la jodi an, pour nous exprimer sympathie, nous rappelons à famille président Jovenel Moïse avec madame Limantine qui tiré et qui dans trauma dans Jackson, on côté moi-même on qu'on travaille. Avec Chairwoman Marie-Paul Woodson, c'est représentative Marie-Paul Woodson indicated, même leur pile nous pas d'accord avec politique, mais il y a des gens qui méritaient pour aller à un président pour tirer sur lui et puis pour tuer et puis pour essayer de tuer madame. Il y a des gens qui méritaient ça. Donc, je joue une voix, avec voix, tout le monde dans la diaspora globale pour exprimer sympathie à président Jovenel Moïse et puis avec madame et avec toute la famille. Deuxièmement, je prends de toute population, je dis non, on connaît n'a souffert. On connaît pendant moi ce passé, on pile dans nos victimes. Ils ont tué madame, ils ont tué petite, ils ont tué frère, ils ont tué soeur, mais pas demander nous pour nous patients, rester calme, pas dans la rue pour continuer la violence là. On travaille ensemble pour nous établir un système, pas vrai? Côté, nous mener la paix à la sécurité dans la communauté, hein? Pour petites filles, petits garçons, nos familles, eh bien, qu'à travailler ensemble pour éventuellement faire une élection qui est free, qui est fair et puis qui est crédible. Parce que ça, nous voulons. Nous, un peuple haïtien, ça, nous voulons, nous avons besoin de démocratie, même avec tout le peuple. Nous avons besoin de démocratie, même avec tout le peuple. D'accord? Je remercie la députée Frederica Wilson pour le leadership. Je remercie tout officiel qui l'a et qui supporté pendant la bataille pour free, democratic, and thriving Haiti. We deserve it. Thank you. Woo!
You've heard all of the speeches, and we have one more. But we have to be extremely mindful that Haiti is at risk. It was at risk before this murder. But can you imagine with no president? At first, this president was ruling by decree. It was just him. Now there is no one. So, as I receive briefings, we will have Facebook or whatever kind of best way to get to you, to give you the information, because this is very, very dangerous. And we have to be on top of this, because there are over 100 gangs in Haiti. Marlene, they're quiet now. They're not saying a word, but we all know what they are doing. They're trying to figure out how they can take control, Mr. Mayor. And each one of them feels empowered enough to do that. So this is a very, very serious time, and I am so pleased that all of you came today in the middle of the day on short notice. This just happened yesterday. And to show your support. And I will be in touch with the White House, the State Department, the Congress, and one person I want you to know who's on our side and who I have spoken to at length is the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. So she understands what it means to appoint an envoy. And to those of you at the sound of my voice, if you can recommend someone who fits the qualifications of an envoy, a Haitian American, who can go to Haiti, be housed in Haiti, and serve as a liaison with the United States government to carry us through this turmoil, please call my office and let me know. We came up with one name, And as soon as we came up with his name, he got an appointment to something else in the White House. So you help me think of someone who can fit this criteria. And Ms. Ord is here right now to speak. She's the president of the Women's Alliance of Miami-Dade and Broward.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, thank you to Congresswoman Wilson for her unwavering support for Haiti and its diaspora. I am totally saddened with what happened yesterday or the day before, in the middle of the night. I was still working with my laptop on responding or preparing for a Zoom meeting with members of Haiti, faith-based and civil society who've been working with Congress since February of this year, trying to obtain a dialogue or meeting with the president and the opposition and the diaspora. I was totally shocked when in the morning I was awakened by someone calling me to tell me President Jovenel has been assassinated. This was a terrible thing. We could never, never, never imagine anything like this. Everybody here or the opposition trying to work things out. We were at an impasse, but today Haiti is like a patient in the ER in need of stabilization. I am happy and glad that Congress, through Congresswoman Wilson, has decided to send an envoy of peacekeeping. We had an emergency meeting last night with the Haitians from Haiti, Europe, United States, and the consensus is exactly that we need to have a peacekeeping envoy in Haiti. The UN had not left a good impression at their last mission in Haiti. So we are really looking forward to have, we have to have the UN involvement for them to exactly understand this is a peacekeeping mission and it must have a time limit. We are also requesting from the United States that they put an emphasis in the investigation for corruption. Corruption in Haiti is what has brought those criminals. Corruption is at the center of everything that had happened for the past 3 years. The Haitian population, Haitian people have not been incarcerated, I would say, in their own home only for the past few months. They've been dealing with this for the past 3 years with pay locked, and even last night, one of the members who participated at the Zoom meeting, he lives 1.5 miles away from President Jovenel's house. He said there were still gunshots going on in his neighborhood. I have a pastor who said he is locked in his house. There is no water, no food, nobody dares go outside and to get whatever basic necessities. It is terrible. We are also asking for the United States or the international community to have a different policy towards Haiti, not only for its people with TPS and immigration, but also in terms of the economic, financial, I would say oligopoly or monopoly in Haiti that prevents its economic, sustainable economic growth. So it's not just the crime and the gangs. The gangs do not get their weapons by themselves. These are people who are hungry. They have absolutely no means to purchase those guns. Those guns are sent by those bought and corrupt our youth with that type of behaviors. So we definitely need the support of the international community and especially the United States with its latest intelligence technology to find out who is behind all of those guns, those self-interest people who really want to maintain whatever it is that they want, power or money, despite at the expense of the innocent people of Haiti. Thank you.
I want to thank all of you for coming out today, and I think we all understand how dangerous this is. I have traveled to Haiti so many times. I have met with so many Haitian elected officials in Washington, in Miami. I have met with the parliament. I've met with all of the presidents since I have been in political office. Gone to monitor all of the elections, gone to the House to get them to vote on certain things. And I have never been afraid, but I am terrified. And I am terrified because I thought I knew him. I thought I knew what was happening on the ground from the sources that I have. But to learn that possibly people from Colombia and Venezuela have come to Haiti and murdered the president of Haiti, that puts a whole different level on corruption, on gangsters, on whatever we thought was happening in Haiti. So this is very, very serious. And I do have some remarks from our Congressman Jimenez. He sent a statement, and he was on the call this morning, and he just wants us to know that he's going to be working with me to move forward whatever this agenda the White House has come up with. And we should hear more tomorrow. But this is a very, it's not just the president who was murdered. It's who murdered him. Yes. And why. See, the gangs didn't murder him. We knew about all of that. We knew about all of his political opponents. He has about 40 political opponents who want to be president. We know about all of that. We know about all of this. But we never dreamed that someone would come to the president's house in the middle of the night, pretending to be from the Drug Enforcement Administration, and speaking to each other in Spanish. Never. And trust me, the White House is alarmed. The State Department is alarmed. Because this is pointing a lot of fingers, and we have to follow where these fingers are pointing. So this is more dangerous and serious than we could ever imagine. It's not just a president who was assassinated. It was who assassinated him and why. Thank you so much for coming. I thank the press for coming. I thank all of our friends of Haiti for coming.
Congresswoman, a quick question, if you don't mind. Maybe, I don't know, there's been recent news that there were 4 more arrests, including an American. And wondering if you heard, or if anybody has heard about that and who that might be?
We're waiting on a briefing to find out who these perpetrators were that were arrested for. Some were killed. It is my understanding that a band of people came into the home. It wasn't a few. It was a lot who came in. So we're watching this move through the State Department, and this is a very, I guess you would say, confidential, kind of covert effort. This is a serious effort. This is not just a normal murder.
And when you talk about America lending a hand and the White House, can you get, with respect to stability and security, can you get specific for us and talk about how you would envision something like that happening?
Well, you know, we had an earthquake. I think you heard the mayor speak of that. And we sent all kinds of forces of security to Haiti to keep the country safe. Now, we had peacekeepers in Haiti. They were dismissed not too long ago. In order to get peacekeepers back, it would take another appropriations. It would take a long time to go through that whole process of reinstalling peacekeepers from the United Nations. So I want to bypass the United Nations peacekeepers and put the onus on the President of the United States and on the international community, who can send people to Haiti to secure Haiti. You know, just how so many people have come to help in Surfside from all over the world. This is what I'm talking about. An international group of people, of soldiers, who can come. And everybody respects soldiers. So when the gang see the soldiers, trust me, it's a different atmosphere.
Congresswoman, can you give us an update on the First Lady?
The only thing I know is that the First Lady is under complete security, and that her condition is stable but critical. And the only reason I know that is I heard it on the news. No one has reported to me directly as to.
Yeah, I can confirm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, might you know anything about the First Lady's children? You made mention that her 3 children came with her, I presume, on that plane last night. Do you might you have some
They were not shot. They were not hit.
No, but they are with the First Lady, correct?
When I saw the First Lady getting off the plane, I just saw the First Lady. The children, I believe, are in protective custody, and it is my understanding from the State Department that the First Lady was not a target, that she was caught in a crossfire. I think she ran past as the barrage of bullets were aimed at the president, but she was not a target. It was very clear that there was one target.